Hi, how you doing? Justin here, and today we're going to be talking about chord boxes, or also known as fretboard diagrams. Both of those terms are in frequent usage on my site and other places. Now, they're usually 6 lines, 7 if you happen to be looking at a 7-string guitar chord diagram. On my site, it's all 6 strings. Okay, you're going to see the 6 vertical lines. They represent the 6 strings of the guitar. The boxes I tend to use most of the time have a thicker string and a thinner string, so that should be fairly clear to you. The horizontal lines are, of course, the frets, and if you see a very dark line or sometimes a double line on my earlier diagrams, that will represent the nut, or the 0 fret on your guitar. The circles will indicate where to put your fingers, and I use various different things inside the circles depending on what we're doing in the course. Sometimes it'll be finger numbers, so just a 1, 2, 3 or 4, sometimes a T, which will mean the thumb. Other times it will indicate the function of the note. Particularly in this music theory course later on, you're going to see a lot of note function. So it might have roots, thirds, fifths and sevenths and that kind of thing. So don't worry too much about that right now. If it's new, you're going to encounter it along your journey. Sometimes I put the finger numbers in the circles, in the dots on the chords, and underneath the diagram I put the quality of the interval, or the function of the note is written underneath the chord box itself. It really depends on what it is I'm teaching. There's a few different options. One thing that stays fairly consistent is that at the top of the diagrams you'll sometimes see an X or a 0. An X will mean that you're not playing that string, and a 0 will mean that you are going to play that string. One thing that you will find quite handy as we go through the course is that I use this little kind of cheating text version of a chord diagram. So rather than putting a whole chord box, if there's a few different chords, or I just kind of mentioning something in passing, I might write something like tab ... and then 32003X. Something like that. It's just relating to the fret numbers. I always start with the thicker string going toward the thinner string. A 0 will be an open string. An X will mean that you don't play that string, and a number will be the fret that you need to put a finger. But again, it doesn't specify which finger you would use in that particular situation. Another way that you will see chord boxes used is for scales, although I tend to call them neck diagrams in that particular circumstance. You'll usually have more than one note on each string, but not all of the time. In arpeggios, actually, particularly, you'll have 1 or 2 notes on each string. And I generally accompany those with tabs so that you can clearly see the order of the notes that you would play, although usually you would start at the top of the diagram and work your way down. So you're going from the lowest note to the highest note when it comes to scales and arpeggios. And the chord boxes, although it is fairly clear with a little experience, if you're new to this kind of stuff, you might find it more helpful to look at the tab. Obviously a really important thing to get down, so do check out the lesson for some further notes below and have a look at actually some chord boxes and what they mean and the different ways they're displayed, and I'll see you for another lesson very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.